Carlos King, reality TV producer extraordinaire, the host of Reality with the King, the most incredible reality TV podcast other than virtual reality. Of course, we are so happy to have you with us right now because there is so much reality TV drama happening. It's just like, I don't know, the world's in a weird and a delicious spot right now.
It's delicious like the cheesecake at Cheesecake Factory, you know, the one with the strawberry and the soft filling. This sounds a little bit X-rated, but I'm really talking about cheesecake. It's definitely delicious.
I want an avocado egg roll right this minute now.
Danny, you'll get whatever you want, honey.
God bless. Well, and I also love being able to talk to you because I love seeing clips from your podcast on Twitter because you hold nothing back and you always find a way, and you know you do, to piss someone off. And it makes me so happy because I'm not involved in the drama and I'm just watching Carlos saying your truth and someone not accepting the truth.
You are always causing trouble, Mr. King.
Listen, boys, this is so funny. And I think you two can relate to this and attest to this. I do my podcast, and for some odd reason, I literally zone out. I say how I feel, upload the video, and I walk away. And then once I upload a clip that my social media manager makes for me, I see all these comments, and I'm like, wait, why are they mad at me? What did I say wrong? And then I watch the clip like, oh, that was shady. Okay. I literally, right? I forget what I say, and it causes a firestorm, even with the cast members. I talk about how Potomac housewife called me and cussed me out. People said to me, Melissa Gorga thinks you hate her. And I'm like, oh, this is crazy. It's crazy.
Do you ever then reach out to the people you supposedly pissed off and you're like, Melissa Gorga, girl, like I don't hate you. Like, do you ever slide into DMs to clarify?
No, because I know this. Because let's be clear, trust no one. Okay. I know that if I send a DM, this is gonna come across shady. So I'm warning myself, not you two. I'm warning myself. This is going to be viral and come across shady. Never trust a housewife to save your DM, meaning protect it. They will screenshot that thing and use it against you when they need to. So I do this. I recently did a video on Atlanta Housewives, and I talked candidly about Marlo and her behavior. Boys, I uploaded the video and I said, you need to call her to warn her. So I called her and said, look, I said some things. I'm very honest, but I will also like to tell you to your ear. And she appreciated it. So I do that. If I know you personally, I will give you a heads up, like, people are going to take this and run with it. And my last point is, 3 hours later, she said, thank God you called me. She showed me a DM that someone said, Carlos King is talking shit about you. He wants you replaced and off the show, which, by the way, I never said those things.
Oh my God. Well, I'm glad that you called her. I also feel like Marlo is because Danny and I just had her in studio. She's one of those girls who can take it. Like, I feel like she just appreciates authenticity and honesty, and like, she can play as hard as you can. So she's, if you're going to say it to her face, like, she's not scared to receive it,
Yes. I love her. I love her a lot.
Now,
I'm glad we... Wait, no, go ahead, Danny.
Have you been making a lot of those calls to people besides Marlo? Because I could assume not all of them are going as Dandy and Peachy as Marlo's. Yeah. Get back in the mic, Carlos.
So the Potomac housewife, who shall remain nameless, she sent me a DM trashing me, right? She trashed me. And I responded and said, here's my cell phone number. Let's talk. Because I'm not going to say anything because I know the game. It'll end up on the Shade Room or on Page 6 or virtual reality, right? I know the game. I said, here's my phone number, honey, call me. So we spoke for 30 minutes. And the first 10, I let her talk. She read me for filth. The last 20 minutes, I said my piece and we ended well. She said, I respect you and I love you. We still follow each other and we're good. So I don't do it to everybody only because I know that there's certain people who need it. Like, for example, Kenya Moore. Kenya Moore does not need a phone call. Sheree Whitfield does not need a heads up because they don't care about how people are going to take what I say and turn it around. So Kenya laughs it off. Sheree will text me and say, girl, they're saying you hate me. And she goes, LOL. So again, you have to know your audience.
Ooh. So last question about this. Was it an OG or a not OG at Potomac?
Oh, go ahead, Danny. It was a non-OG.
Okay.
I feel like you know
it's almost like we're playing Clue. I just went like,
does she have a song or a single or an album?
I'm not gonna say anything else, boo.
Okay. Well, I want to go back to Sheree because it's an interesting time that we have you on the podcast, Carlos, because like your worlds are colliding. Martell from Love and Marriage Huntsville is dating Sheree on the show, and he came in roaring, causing a whole lot of drama. And I think that for Atlanta viewers who aren't necessarily tapped into Love and Marriage, what can you say about Martell's past that would help them understand the reaction and sort of this like the fire he's getting coming onto the show and into Sheree's life?
Yeah, no, great question. So Martell, when I met Martell, he was married to his then wife named Melody. Martell is born, I'll do it over. Martell is born and raised in Huntsville, Alabama. He's a Southern guy. And if you know anything about Southern men, they are very traditional. They believe I'm a man, I'm supposed to do this. You're a woman, you're supposed to do that. He's very, very traditional. So long story short, on Love and Marriage Huntsville, Martell cheated on his wife with the mistress and had a baby with the mistress. Okay. Obviously, his wife filed for divorce.
X usually equals YZ. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So obviously, she filed for divorce. And now he's trying to figure life out without her.
Okay.
They were married for 14 years, have 4 children together. So he's a Southern guy. And unfortunately, this is a true fact in terms of statistics. A lot of men in that region may cheat on their wives and the wives stay. And that's what they're accustomed to in that part of town. Not 100%, but it's a large percentage. So he assumed that he will fall into that great percentile of men who were able to remain married after cheating on their wives. So what you're seeing now is somebody who is dealing with being divorced and trying to figure out who he is after 14 years of being married. So he meets Sheree. I did not set them up.
Okay.
I'm not the Patty
Would
Singer.
you have, or would you say, Sheree girl, run?
Oh, great question. Listen, this is the funny truth. I've known Sheree for 15 years. I would have never thought that Martell was Sheree's type because the men that Sheree dated that I was aware of, they didn't look like Martell. Martell is a very handsome guy with a nice body. I haven't seen those type of men around Sheree, honey. So I was surprised, but I know that Sheree watches the show. So once I realized the familiarity there, I understood why there was a sort of like curiosity factor, if you will, like, oh, and they hit it off. And I've seen them in private around each other, and they definitely have chemistry.
Oh, I was like, how private have you been watching them? Did they release? Are you producing their OnlyFans?
Well, honey, they had an OnlyFans. I think that would break the internet.
Oh my God. Well, they look great together. I love the way that they look together. Do you think that long term, though, Martell is a good match for Sheree?
See, this is what's so funny. I know that Martell wants to get married and have more kids.
More kids.
Oh,
Okay.
Martell wants the last count. I think he said 7.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm saying that's what I mean. He's very traditional, Southern guy. The more the merrier. And I don't think Sheree wants any more children. I don't think Sheree, in my opinion, I don't think Sheree is looking to get remarried or have kids. I think Sheree is living her best life. Sheree looks so good. Her body is banging. I text her like, damn girl, you look better now than 15 years ago. And 15 years ago, you were still a baddie. But now, I think she's so hot. So I think Sheree is enjoying her hot girl summer, winter, spring, summer, fall.
I love that. Yeah, it's hard to believe that she's a grandma now. Like,
yes,
grandmas are not supposed to look that hot.
Hot, baby.
It's kind of funny because because also when you're saying that Martell was looking for kind of a more traditional wife role, because I can't really see Sheree doing that. And or wanting to be, I think she's kind of just like feeling herself being her own little empire. But I mean, like now that Drew's single, Drew likes being a wife. I don't know.
Could it be Drew? Danny, wait, that is a great point.
That's a messy point.
No, but Drew believes that when a man wants a baby, you got to make it for him.
Baby.
I know, honey, but
and she's younger, so she can have more kids.
She is.
And like Martell is Drew's type because Ralph had the body.
Ooh, you two are good.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. I'm seeing it now. If you base it off of tradition of what Drew liked in her soon-to-be ex-husband, you're right. Ralph is attractive. Ralph has a nice body. Ralph is very traditional. Yeah. Ralph believes a housewife is this and a man does that. And what's interesting is he and Martell definitely share the same beliefs.
Okay. Well,
so you're playing Patty Stinger, Danny. Is that what we're doing?
Yes. Okay. Honestly, yes.
Carlos, a while back, you hosted this incredible Atlanta OG reunion with Kim Zolciak, Lisa Wu, like all the girls were there for the most part. And so I'm curious to get your thoughts on Kim and Kroy breaking up. Were you shocked?
Beyond. That was not on my bingo card. Listen, I would say Sheree would marry Martell before Kim would divorce Kroy. So on my late night show, when I reunited the OGs, Nene wasn't available, but she was invited. Make that clear. Okay. So Kroy was there. He was in the green room. And you know, the thing with Kim and Kroy is always with Kim.
Yeah.
It was business as usual. They looked happy. It was as if nothing ever was happening. It was a close set. She said, Carlos, bitch, you know Kroy has to come. I'm like, fine, girl. So Kroy was standing behind the camera guy. I made sure Kim understood. We want you to feel comfortable. I did not predict this. And now I'm reading all about like these crazy accusations. And I'm like, this is not the Kim and Kroy that I hooked up. Now, I did hook that up.
You did? Oh my God. So you were there when she went over and was talking about his butt and all that. Like that was you?
The reason why, okay, so quick story. Season 4, Sheree was doing the local version of Dancing with the Stars. So it was the local Atlanta celebrities. Sheree was one of them, and Kroy was a Falcons player. He was the other. Kim wanted to leave. I'm ready to go. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm like, look, girl, shut the up and sit down, right? So she's like, oh my gosh, Carlos, he's so hot. I'm like, who? She said him. I'm like, let me try this tactic to get her to stay. Yeah. So I approached Kroy and I said, come here. And he goes, what? I said, you see that blonde over there? He was like, wow, she's hot. I said, she wants you. Come here. So we're filming. And Kim, if you ever go back to that clip, you can see how Kim is kind of like trying to leave. And then Kroy approaches her and they start talking. And to this day, she thanks me. She said, I would have left that event if you did not bring Kroy over there. And they exchanged numbers. So when she got engaged, I was the first person she told. And that's why me, Kim, and Kroy have a great rapport.
Oh, so then you must have been like particularly devastated when you heard about the breakup.
Have you talked to her at all, like after the news came out? Or
this
no?
is the thing that I know about Kim. So some housewives need a minute.
Yeah.
Because think about it, they're bombarded with like all the press calling them, the friends calling them, the family. And I don't want to be another person bombarding her. So I wanted things to remain quiet because I thought things would be quiet after a week. I'm like, damn, bitch, y'all saying all this craziness. It's crazier now than it was a month ago. So I'm waiting for things to die down before I reach out, but she knows how much I love her. I said it on my podcast, and I know she listens to it. But I plan on like taking her out to dinner and just making sure that she and I have some one-on-one time.
How do you think your friendship with Kroy will be after the dust settles? Do you feel like you'll have to take sides in this situation?
Yeah.
Okay, we're Team Kim Z.
Yeah. Duh. I would have to. So look, I'm a very loyal person. And at the end of the day, I've known Kim for 4 years prior to her meeting Kroy. And I love Kroy. And I'm never going to bash Kroy. I'm never going to say anything crass about him. He's a great person, a great father. But my loyalty will always lie with Kim. Always.
And I do love when Marlo was here, we asked her if she had any like thoughts or wanted to give them any advice or helpful things. She said, I just need them to have prayers and a financial advisor.
Yes, and that was the headline because you two are messy, and I saw that all over the blogs. Marlo says they need a CPA. I'm like, oh my gosh, Marlo.
I mean, you have witnessed many a reality TV split. Do you have any advice or words of wisdom for Kim as she navigates this next chapter? And would you advise her to get back on reality TV? Because I hope you do.
That's my only advice. It's like, look, bitch, shit happens, right? Shit happens.
Yeah.
Get back on TV. Because this is the thing. And I'm curious in what you two think about this. And I hate saying this because I don't want this to be about Kroy.
Okay.
But I think we all miss the old Kim. We miss the Kim with the wrist solo cup.
The cigarette.
In the car. Cigarette. One cigarette in hand, the other hand on the steering wheel, the wrist solo cup in the middle console. And she's playing country music. She's singing along. She walks into a scene. She has fun. I used to enjoy working with the OGs of Atlanta because when you got Nene, Kim, and Sheree in a room, you guys have no idea like the hours and hours of unaired footage of them like having fun. And the thing about Kim, which everyone grows, right? When Kim got married, and I get this, she was no longer that person. So Kim did not want to hang out with anybody. She was like, I want to be at home with my man and our kids. So now that she's going through a divorce, I would love to see Kim back next season because have you guys seen her recent photos? Like, the bitch is hot.
I mean, she is snatched. The waist is wasting.
Ah!
It's wasting no time. That's what the waist is doing.
Yeah.
It's
well,
right.
And she did leave some comments on Instagram. Like some fans have been like, girl, get back on TV. Like, when are you going to get back on Atlanta? Like, when are you going to get back in front of the camera? And she's like, I'm doing it. Like she's teasing like it's happening. And I know that she's going to make a cameo on the second half of this current season of Atlanta. But I mean, have you heard anything about a new Kim project, her reclaiming her peach? What does that mean? He is taking he's taking a sip.
Ooh.
I feel like
let's just say I may not have been talking to Kim, but other people have.
Okay. I love to hear that because there really is magic to Kim Zolciak. Like she belongs back on our screens. And I, like you said, like she's entering a new chapter of life. Now she's in her single girl era. And it would be nice to see her in a setting that is vastly different than Don't Be Tardy. Because like we've seen her in the house. We need to get her out of the house.
Get the bitch out the house. We need Kim Zolciak out the house. Please.
Would you matchmake her again? Or is it kind of like a one and done with Carlos?
No. Listen, honey. Okay. I'm done in the matchmaking field.
Oh, okay.
I want to, but this the thing, and Kim's gonna kill me when I say this, but I'm gonna say this anyway. I want Kim Zolciak to get her hot girl spring, summer, fall, winter on and date a bunch of young hot guys, good sex. No, I want Kim to like have no commitments. Just date a bunch of men, preferably between the ages of 27 and 32. Because I want Kim. Kim always, Kroy was younger, right?
Yeah.
I forgot how many years, but he was younger. Big Papa was older, right? I want Kim to I want her with an investment banker. I want her with a guy who has like all this money to buy. Because let's be clear, Kim's new man needs to be super rich, but I want Kim to be with one of those hot young YouTubers who's like 24 and he made all his millions on YouTube and he could like cover everything and like have enough stamina to like keep up with Kim.
Well, also they're good too because they throw their money. Because an investment banker, they're not that fun with their money. A 25-year-old YouTuber who doesn't know what a checking account is, Kim, find him and then I'll come with.
But
first.
The one problem I see here happening is that like are Kim and Brielle like fighting for the same man? You know?
Even better. Don't you want to see
show.
that? Honey, you want to see that on the next season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Imagine Kim and Brielle on a double date.
With the same guy. It's just a mirror.
but no, this would be it. Guys, let's produce it. Okay, here it is. Next season, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Kim Zolciak is being set up by Brielle. Brielle has a boyfriend, and it's Brielle's boyfriend's friend. Because you know how like when you know boys, when you like a guy and the guy said, I have a friend, well, I got a friend too. So we'll set our friends up. I want Brielle to set up Kim with her boyfriend's friend, and I want to see those two out on a double date, but not like at Nobu or at a fancy restaurant. I want something where these young people party, do some weed, drink. I want it to be fun and just like super active.
Like with Everclear being poured into Jungle Juice. Yes.
All of that and more. And like staying out to 3 a.m.
Well, honestly, there's so many single ladies on Atlanta now. I feel Kim could come and kind of get them all to like feel themselves a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that's what I want. And the other thing too, maybe I'll hook up Kim with one of the Huntsville guys.
Oh, that would be, yes. I would
Sheree and Martell, Kim, and another guy from Huntsville.
Yeah, because Sheree and Kim, I know, they're on good terms these days. Like they're close. Yes. That would be like a great re-entry into the franchise for Kim. I would love to see that.
I want Kim with Logan Paul.
What?
What was just
wait? Okay, Carlos, you can't just like say that and that's. Explain yourself, Carlos King. Please. I want Kim with Logan, but like, who says that? Tell us what you mean.
Who said that? Who said that?
Like literally no one, not a single soul. Carlos King. I want Kim Zolciak with Logan Paul.
Listen. Okay, are we gonna be honest here?
Yes.
Okay.
Face. Just think about the face.
Okay.
Logan's hot.
He's good looking.
He's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great body.
Okay.
Kind of controversial.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Super rich.
Okay.
Now you're convincing me that this
and will take him on a notorious ride, and I mean that literally and figuratively.
Oh,
okay.
I'm like, okay, so you have some insider knowledge about Logan Paul that I'm clapping for. Okay, good for the Paul. Good for the Paul bearer. God bless.
Oh yes, private jets. Mile High Club. I want Kim to get banged in the friendly skies.
Oh, we'd love that for her. I also know that would really get everybody, all eyes on Kim. Everybody would be talking about that then too. Kim would have her own major resurgence.
Yes, I'm telling you, Kim needs. It's sort of like when Kim Kardashian divorced Kanye and started dating Pete Davidson, and we were like, what is this? It's so weird. But we were kind of into it because it was so weird. I don't want Kim with something expected. I want her with something super. What Kim Kardashian did was let me choose a guy who allegedly has a large penis, but who also is like a mystery. And he's the hot young comedian of our time. Kim likes relevancy. Both Kims do. So I want Kim to date somebody unexpected to get her all the press she needs and all the bid pressings she needs.
I love that you're like, they need to be unexpected, unshowered, with a huge.
That's what every girl wants at the end of the day.
What a girl wants. Yeah, it's a full on with that. God bless. Well, now what I'm curious, I want to know what you want, because obviously we've been talking so much about Atlanta, but Jersey is also in full swing right now. I want to know what you want next season, Carlos K.
Are you obviously you're not Team Melissa because she thinks that you hate her.
Which, by the way, Melissa, if you're listening, because I know you are, I do not hate you. I it's so crazy. I do not. Once and for all, I, Carlos King, do not hate Melissa Gorga Lopez.
We're clearing that up.
I call her Imlo. Imlo, I do not hate you. Let's be very clear. I think she's a gorgeous, gorgeous girl. So, but I'm also very honest. I didn't watch the entire season. I watched the first 2 episodes, then I watched the finale, the pre-finale, and then Teresa's wedding, and of course the reunion. I think I speak for everybody when I say we have to get off this Melissa versus Teresa. It was at one point in time, and I did say this to Teresa. I said at one point in time, Melissa was great for the show, and Melissa brought out some great moments out of Teresa, is what I mean. And Joe Gorga is a great, fantastic reality star. He's wonderful. He's a gift to that show. And I've said that before, and I'll say it again. Melissa and Joe at one point in time were super great for the show. 10 years later, what's happening is you're forcing people to be around each other who literally hate each other. And I hate saying that because I have siblings, and I could not imagine hating my sibling.
I know.
They will never like each other. It's never going to happen. And the moment I realized that you guys lost both your parents, and that sometimes brings family together. And I think they tried at one point, but this is my opinion. I think if Joe was not with Melissa, I think Joe and Teresa's relationship would be better. I think at the end of the day, Melissa and Teresa can't stomach each other, and Joe Gorga will always choose his wife over his sister. So I don't want them around each other. Now, what does that mean? Do you want Melissa fired, right? I said this, either you put Melissa on pause and Teresa continues on with the show, or you spin off Teresa and the family, Melissa stays, but Teresa plays like a guest starring role, like Heather Locklear on Melrose Place, you know? It's like, oh shit, Heather's here. Or should I say Amanda? Amanda's here. Shit's about to happen, right? Because we all love Amanda. So I would prefer that too. I would not be mad at that, because last but not least, my opinion, and I would love to hear yours, I can't see Jersey without Teresa.
I mean, I like, for the record, like Danny and I are big Missy G stans. Like we love her so much, but we can also appreciate Teresa. And, you know, she really is, as you say, Nene is the face of Atlanta. Like Teresa is the face of New Jersey. But I'm curious to know from a producer standpoint, Carlos, like when I'm on social media and when I'm watching the polls on Watch What Happens Live, like what I'm seeing is a lot of pro Melissa. It seems like the tree stumps are getting weaker and smaller. Do producers take that into consideration when it comes to casting? Like, are you looking at social? Are you tracking that as you make those kinds of decisions?
I don't. Personally, I don't. I do believe other producers do, however. The reason why I don't, and I'll explain to you why others do from my standpoint, I don't, because I know that social media is a cesspool of people who have various opinions, depending on the time of day, depending on, let me go with the popular majority, or let me just say this because I know it'll create a lot of engagement.
Right. Mhm.
And I like to argue with people. So I don't pay attention to social media. There's people on a few of my shows that social media fans are like, fire them. And I always say this: if you want somebody fired, that means they're doing their job. That means they're a villain, a good villain, meaning good for the show, maybe not good for you because they're going against your favorite, but they're good for the show. And that's why I'm honest to say, I thought for the longest time Melissa was great for the show. So I do think, though, that some producers nowadays are taking social media into account. And I'll give you examples. When you look at Ramona, Tamra Judge, Lisa Rinna, these are three very controversial people that social media alone hated them, called for their dismissal. And what is so funny, the moment Ramona wasn't asked back to the original legacy, fans went crazy. No Roni without Ramona, right? Tamra Judge got put on pause. Fire her. She's desperate. She does the most. She's on pause. That season sucked. And she came back this season. Then you had Lisa Rinna, and now people, and I'm sure you guys heard this too, I heard Beverly Hills was a snooze starting off because nobody wanted to fill the shoes of Lisa Rinna, who was like, I'll call you out, bitch. I'll call you out and I'll do that to you. And I think at the end of the day, maybe Garcelle and Sutton don't believe this, but I believe the other women appreciated that was Lisa Rinna's role in the show because it helped them get story. And everybody wants to be a part of having a great show. And Lisa Rinna gave that to Beverly Hills. So I do think nowadays people pay attention to it. But I'll say this, honey, and quote me on this. If you get rid of Teresa Giudice, picket signs all across the Peacock.
The Peacock. Wait, I gotta know, because you love Trey, and I feel even the tree huggers, they are kind of mixed with this. How are we feeling about Louis?
Yeah, you have to have opinions.
Oh, this is a great question. And I do get asked this a lot. So, number one, I've never met him. I've never met him. When I was on Heather McDonald's podcast and answered the question about Melissa that went viral, Louis commented and said, thank you for telling the truth. My wife has been through a lot. And he's been very sweet to me in terms of just social media. We never met in person. And because I haven't watched this season, a lot of people are saying to me that I need to look out for Teresa based on his behavior on the show this season. So because I haven't watched it, and this is a true story, I don't know what's going on. Now, I did hear, because I watched the reunion, about him wanting Alexia first, which I'm like, wait, what? And then there's something about the fallout between Dina and Teresa and the husbands. They're saying it's his fault. They're saying he knew where she lived and that's how they met. So it's all these things that I'm hearing that I'm like, okay, I need to digest this. So I'm waiting until part 3 reunion of Jersey, and I got to watch back this season to really form an opinion. Because I know that if I say something, it goes there. So that's a long way of saying. Because I haven't watched this season, I only know Louis based on his interaction with me. And to me, he's been nothing but nice.
Well, I am curious, Carlos, if you're producing a show and one of your cast members is involved with someone and terrible things just keep coming out about them, like with Louis, it's a lot of abuse claims. His ex-fiance just filed a restraining order because he allegedly hired a PI to stalk her at her place of work. It's like one thing after the next. He allegedly shoved his ex-wife's head into a metal pole. That's in a police report. So if your talent is with someone like that, do you feel a responsibility to sort of step in and be like, girl, like intervention style?
Well, no, so this is it. When you're a producer on the show, obviously your job is to follow the reality, right? And you two get this because you interview a lot of housewives who all of a sudden they become friendly with you and you're like, oh, you start to hang out and there's a friendship that develops, but you don't want to cross the line in terms of like, look, bitch, you need to, right? So I'll say this much. When you are a producer, your job is to follow the reality because you're not allowed or supposed to enforce your opinion onto someone's life. Your job is to document that life. That's the number one rule in reality television, because the lines get blurred because you're around each other 6 days a week and you do develop a friendship. So I'll give you a good example of Jersey. So when Danielle was going through the book controversy and the table being flipped, I was Danielle's producer. That was season 1. Season 2, Danielle said, "You're banned from my house." She told everybody. She told all the higher ups, "I don't want Carlos around me." And they're like, "Why? Like, he loves you. You love him." She said when the show was airing, I did not reach out to her to check in on her. And I said, "But Danielle, I'm a producer working on other shows at the time." And she said, "I thought you were my friend." And I said, I am your friend. So that's when I realized, oh, the lines get blurred. So she was on my podcast and we talked about this. And she said, "I regret doing that to you because I did not realize, being a newbie, that you had a job to do. You fulfilled the duties of the job. And I didn't realize that as a producer, are we friends? Yes, but not to the point where you're checking in on me after every episode airs to see how I'm doing." And that's the unfortunate part about this business. So when you see what these accusations are against Louis and you're Teresa's producer, it truly is her job just to follow it and not to involve yourself, because last but not least, you don't want the storyline to be ex-producer said I should leave you, and that becomes a narrative.
That's so true.
Yeah. And oh, and honey, it happens.
Yeah. Is there anyone, because now you have a whole slate of programming at OWN, which is like so incredible. You have the Love and Marriage franchise and then Bell Collective. Is there anyone from the Housewives world that you wish you could pluck? I know you tried it with Monique and DC, which I loved, and unfortunately
I did too.
That was short-lived. But is there anyone else that you wish you could just sort of like snatch over?
A current housewife that's on air right now?
Or anyone in the Housewives world?
Oh, honey, Nene, Portia, our top. Oh, honey, those are easily my top 2. I would love to dance with those two again. And it's funny because yesterday, Portia posted a picture of herself with Nene and Portia's husband, Nene's boyfriend. And guys, I got so many comments tagged saying, "Carlos, Love and Marriage, Atlanta."
But yes.
Yes, though.
Yeah.
Let's start it.
Well, you know, they're very expensive. So we got to.
Well, I mean,
Nene and
Call Oprah. She's got the funds.
Yeah. And that has to be it.
And I'm also wondering too, because obviously you have done so many different realms of worlds in the reality space. And I know it's obviously hard to think until you like see the talent to focus on, but is there like a realm or a lane of life that you're like, oh, I would love to do a show about that? You know what I mean? Or is there something that like you've tried to do that just hasn't taken off? You know what I mean?
Yes. I never told you about this. A few years ago, I was introduced to this LA establishment and these wonderful women working at this establishment in Los Angeles. And it was a strip club. Ooh. And because I'm a storyteller and a journalist, I was so enamored with their personal story. because I always wanted to know, I'm getting so deep here. I wanted to know the psyche of why a woman chooses this profession, right? And I interviewed like 10 women, and I was fascinated by the choices in terms of why they're doing this. Some were, I'm paying for my tuition. I'm a single mom, so the fact that I can work from like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. while my son is asleep, and I get to come home and take him to school, like I was fascinated. And then, because we love Housewives and all the female ensemble dramas, there's so much drama in strip clubs amongst the girls. It's about like, it's so juicy. So long story short, I pitched that all over the world, thinking to myself like, this is good. No one bought it. But
Really?
I say that to say, no one. So funny. I was like, this is so bad, guys. I said, this is like Housewives at a strip club. You don't understand what I'm trying to pitch you. And they were like, get this out of our...
What was like the critiques that you heard? Like why didn't it move forward? Like when you showed it to people?
They felt it was way too salacious. Like and listen, this is way before streaming became like a thing. So think about like all the blurs of the areolas and the
the customers.
Yes, if you want to tell the like what guy's gonna say, because listen, half of them are married. So it was, to their point, again, this was years ago. To the network's credit, they were like, there's no way you can produce this show the way you're pitching it. Yes, it's fascinating, but how can we show that? And I only think that type of show works on premium cable, like a Showtime, where you can show the body parts in a respectful way, and the men allowing themselves to be seen.
Would you revisit this idea now that streaming has exploded?
It would have to be a situation to where I'm able to really make the show how I want to make it. Because if you have to go there. And I think that's the reason why when you look at the Abbey, remember that reality show?
Yep.
We've all been to the Abbey, right? And I'm like, this ain't the Abbey. Y'all show it, honey. This ain't it. The Abbey is a mess in a good way. But because it was on a cable network, you can't show that world in its raw, no pun intended, purest form.
Yeah. What do you think, Carlos, of Real Friends of WeHo and the way that kind of wasn't the ultimate reality TV disaster? I just feel like there's so much to unpack here. In your eyes.
It's a Brad world. Go on.
Shady, honey. Look. And listen, we all can say this, right? The gays are tough. You can't.
Yeah.
The gays are tough, baby. The gays are hard to please, honey. We're tough. So look, I'm going to say several things about it. I appreciated the intention of showing our culture on primetime reality television, right? The number one mistake that was made to me was the title. You can't copy the Real Housewives franchise and pretty much call it the Real Housewives of the Gays. You know, like you might as well say, and I even think the marketing was, if you like Housewives, and it's like, this is not, don't play with us. Like, you can't compare it. Make this show its own. I hated the title.
Yeah.
Because it made people hate the show based off the title, because you were taking this beloved franchise that is international, that we all have a very personal connection to, and try to say, for all you gays who watch Housewives, then watch this. And that's not fair to us, right?
Right.
So the title was one.
And also, Real Friends, they all met the first episode. And they even said that on the show.
I was just about to say that. To call it the Real Friends of WeHo and saying, we don't know each other. We love Housewives, the initial origin, because these were real friends, right? And then as seasons progress, you cast somebody to get to know the rest of the girls. But the origin were real friends. That was mistake number 2. They're not friends. They don't know each other. And I watched like 2 episodes, and there was a scene where the guy was like, I would never hang out with these people. Why should I watch this show? It was the wrong group of people because they did not know each other. And then, listen, I lived in West Hollywood. We all know about West Hollywood. And I also feel like if you want to do something groundbreaking, show me some gays in a part of town that I never heard of. You know, like I want to see some gay cowboys. I want to see some gays who, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gay, but I live in Mississippi or Oklahoma, and this is how, like, make me so curious to be like, how does a gay cowboy live, or what is that lifestyle like?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
It also is funny that show is going to be on Issa Rae's IMDb for the rest of her life.
Oh!
I know she makes a little cameo.
I don't think she knows she was on it when she was filming that cameo.
They
Did you
had
guys
a
watch the
few
whole
fun-
season?
No.
Then Meredith Marks also made a cameo. There were some like fun sightings on that show.
Okay, so Danny said he did not watch the whole season. Did you, Evan?
I watched, I think, 2 or 3 episodes. I was curious to finish the whole season, but I have a busy TV schedule. I mean, it was hard to fit in. And then I just feel like it lost me a little bit because not only was there like the Real Housewives component that like the Real Housewives fans were immediately dogging it, but then we cut into RuPaul's Drag Race time, and I'm a big Drag Race fan. And after I've watched 45 minutes of Drag Race, I'm like not inclined to, you know what I mean? I just want to watch Untucked right after. I don't want to like go see Todrick choreograph a video he's not paying his dancers for. Like
Allegedly.
But I don't know. Maybe I'll revisit it.
No, you won't.
No, you won't.
Yeah, you're right. I probably won't.
It's not gonna happen. But good effort. Just wrong all around. But I want to say this. I want to see the gays on television. We're fun. I'm tired of us being the sidekick to the women. Oh,
Yeah.
I do her hair, I do her makeup, or I'm her assistant. Like, we have a full life too. So I really want to see that.
Did you watch the A-List back in the day?
I did, and I enjoyed the A-List back in the
That
day.
was good.
Yeah, they were real friends.
Yeah, the A-List New York, that was good. That was a good time. And then even Dallas, I know it didn't really take off the same way, but it was still fun.
I enjoyed the A-List. Yeah, absolutely. I really did.
Yeah. Riken, who else was Rodney? Like, oh, there were some good characters on there. And then Nicholas, the hair guy with the babies.
Yeah. And they
Yeah.
have great personal story. And to me, it was refreshing. And I think the cast was a mixed bag of like randoms because they just did not have rich history. And when you start a reality show with people, you got to have rich history.
Take it from the king, guys.